Hi friends, it's Sunday, August 9th, and I'm here in Miami Beach. It's a beautiful, beautiful afternoon here. The sun is shining, the weather's great, and today's video is going to be on a topic of what I've been encountering and experienced recently regarding my beliefs, my ideas, the way I go, the way I flow, and also how do we detect, how do we know when someone is attacking us, when we're being attacked? What do we do? How do we respond? These are very important questions to ask yourself. And in my experience over my life, I've learned that anything that distracts me, that pulls me away from myself, is an attack. That's how I see it. And I have to see it that way because otherwise I become numb to it. I become accepting of it, tolerant of it. And eventually I buy into it. This is how I became an alcoholic. People ask me, how were you an alcoholic? Why do you were an alcoholic and so forth? What brought you there? Well, it's because I tolerated certain things. You're going to hear people tell you, a little won't hurt you. Moderation is all life's about. Be in between, be in the middle. These kind of things add up. They contribute. Religion is huge. It's gigantic. I was brainwashed as a child. Anyone that believes in any superstitious nonsense, without taking the time to clear everything possible, remove all distractions, remove all obstacles and obstructions. That's the whole point. It's Sunday. And it's one of the most celebrated, or at least recognized, in the United States regarding religious beliefs. One of the very popular beliefs here in America is Christianity. And throughout most of the world, there's Christianity, there's Hinduism, Buddhism, Krishna, Judaism, Islam. There's so many different besides those. But I'm saying is that these are all things that we consume, we ingest, we've been brainwashed, we've been continuously manipulated by these organizations. Oftentimes, you have to ask yourself, go to the root of it, find out why they exist, who started it, what was their point. The Mormon religion, Joseph Smith, very well known, convicted liar, manipulator, convicted and charged and did his time. All this magic fluff and puff. The guy was a pedophile. If you sleep with someone much younger than you, it's less consenting, than what anybody likes to make you think of it is. Think of it. It's like a group of guys who are so insecure, instead of praising and embracing, encouraging, worshiping, devoting themselves, to their body, to the women in their life, to their children, to their families, they say, hey, you know what? Let's all get together and form a little group. We want to get away with murder. We want to get away with slavery, with enslaving people. We want to feel superior than other people because we are the authority over the truth. See, that's the thing I've seen continuously. Someone always wants to tell me what the truth is. What is the truth? Whether it be veganism, food, diet, philosophy, government, policing, conspiracy theories, Boston bombing, World Trade Center. Everyone wants to tell me the truth. Everyone has the truth. I'm guilty of sharing my experiences, my observations of what I consider the truth. But you won't find a religious person, a religious authority, someone who claims to be the authority on something. You won't find them asking you, hey, find out for yourself. Very few times will they encourage you to go find out for yourself, live on fruit for a month, or live without religion for a month, live without Facebook for a month, whatever it is. Live without something for a period of time, and then ask yourself, after that month, am I still alive? Am I less a person than I used to be? See, that's the thing that I see with a lot of Christians, especially Christians. I call a lot of other groups all the time. Atheists too, I call them out. It's kind of hard to call out an atheist when the whole idea of atheism is not to believe in any kind of God. But there are many that still believe in the vaccinations, the medical, so forth, the GMOs. Doesn't matter. These are all distractions. Distractions are obstructions. Obstructions lead to destruction. Distraction goes to destruction. No different. Girlfriends, boyfriends, spouses. They all want to tell you a story. They all want to tell me, hey, Anthony, why are you so negative? You're so aggressive. You're this and that. We become so numb, so zombied, numb and dumb, that when someone's passionate about, my passion is to remove the obstruction, remove those blocks, remove the things that divide us from being one. Even the term veganism, I title it, I hashtag it, I don't own it, I don't want to own it, but I understand the feeling people have in myself, towards animals, towards life. But put that aside for a moment. The biggest obstacle for vegans to help people realize animal rights and all these other wonderful things is vegans. That's the biggest obstacle. Vegans prevented me, and when I was eating meat, drinking alcohol, and all these other things, some skinny, scrawny, unhealthy, rambling, person who smoked a lot of weed and everything else, all these other distractions, drank a lot of alcohol, was telling me that, you got to be vegan. That's not a vegan. That's someone who's living not even human. Those are inhuman behaviors. So what I'm saying to you is, if you're going to be a vegan or this, that, find out where, how, what, why, when, all these kind of questions, and if you think about it, no one should be a vegan. That's crazy. Really crazy. The fact that those that choose not to eat unnecessary things that are very harmful to our body, harmful to others, destructive in every single way, addictive as well, that should be just called crazy, like disturbed, disconnected, whatever, something. It is negative, it's horrible, there's nothing good about that. That should have maybe a title. How pedophiles, rape little boys and girls? That's a title. That's a problem. Psychologically speaking, or at least a psychiatric term I've heard before, is pica. Someone who just shoves things in their mouth obsessively. Well, a lot of vegans suffer pica, period. I heard orthorexia, people that are obsessive about what they put in their mouth and how perfect it is and purest. It's just the weirdest thing. All these words control us. They own us. And when I became, whatever, more plant-based, more vegan, or just a little more aware of certain things, at least for myself, my senses, I used to say they were heightened, but the truth is, I don't think my senses became heightened. I don't think my mind became more, I don't think everything got better at all. Nothing, zero. I think if anything, they started returning and restoring themselves to what they should be. And that's the whole point. Remove things that aren't part of you. I'm a Christian. No, you're not. You're a human being. You're a person. You're an animal. You're life. You're living. I'm fat. No, you're not. You're not fat. You're a beautiful child, period. You're a life. You encompass, you embody whatever. We are part of this body to experience, to share, to connect. Why I say you're not fat? Because you have fat. Because you own the fat. Instead of actually realizing, hey, I don't need this. I don't need to be inflamed. Fat, that's a stupid word. Inflammation means that you're so full of toxicity that your body exhibits, it shows. Swollen, it's infected, infested. God knows what's in there. Who wants it? Just get that stuff out. Attack it. We're so afraid to attack. Hey, why are you so fat? Say it. When you hear it enough, you go, oh, wow, yeah, why am I so fat? Why am I carrying, maybe not why I am. Get the I am out. Why do you carry so much fat? Why do you choose to hold this fat? You're not a bad person for carrying, excess weight. Not at all. You're a beautiful, beautiful child. Now take yourself out of your body for a moment. Look at the body. Look at, is it inflamed? Is it large? Is it hurt? Is it swollen? Do you feel these things? Do you feel happy with it? We have this beautiful, we have an opportunity to observe everything and experience everything, and yet we numb ourselves so much. I was in Hawaii for about 7 months. Hard to find anybody who's not numbing themselves in some way. Distracting themselves with weed and drugs and certain foods and so forth. It's behaviors. They're just so, I hear NLP, all these different ways to talk, radical honesty. They're all full of shit, dude. I'm full of shit. I am full of shit 24/7. Don't believe a word I say. I don't want anyone to believe a word I say. I don't care for that. I want you to care for yourself. Care for your own word. Care for your own, promises, commitments, all these things. Those are important to you. When you start committing to imaginary beings, someone else's brainwash, think about it. Christianity, religions, in Buddhism and everything else, Judaism, all that. Every one of those religions typically require indoctrination, brainwashing, whatever, to children that aren't even developed yet, that are still not even ready to put reason and logic and evidence, and they're still excited. If anything, I'm wrong to say that they weren't in that respect, because in all fairness, I've observed children constantly evolve and develop and, observe. And yet we start feeding into this, being a zombie, being a flesh-eating monster, And just, if you don't eat meat and so forth, you can still be a flesh-eating monster. Yeah, use those words. Don't be soft. Comfort numbs. Numb kills. Period. Be disturbed. Awaken yourself. If you need to move a little bit, move a little bit. You can only run a mile. Don't run if you don't want to. Run a little bit, shake a little bit. shake your body, move. You're in a desk for 8 or 9 hours a day. Your body is a child. It's an animal. You have to take care of it all the time. You don't just feed it by putting things in the mouth. You got to give it attention. You got to get up and move a little bit, shake a little bit. You know, I see these Sunday, people are in a church. You're not outside. I hate being inside. I really don't like being inside anywhere. I'm in Miami Beach. I'm outside the balcony sometimes of the beach itself, and I love the sound of the water, the wind, birds, so many wonderful things. But I hear these constant, radios and loudness and every little tiny vibrations I'm affected by. I'm a little more sensitive to now. The cars, the horns, the beeping, the loudness. Why? See, what I've learned, I've been so numb for so long, and many of us have, that we don't realize the effect it has on us. We don't. We're like a frog. If people were to kill a frog in a boiling pot of water, it would jump out of the water. But if you put it in regular water, warm it up until it's dead, that's what we do. We just constantly build it up. That's what, religion is, certain beliefs. Science falls into that. That's the thing. Science falls into it. It buys into it. Government does as well. So many aspects. So what I'm asking you to do today, it's your Sunday. It's you. It's your time to worship, let's say. Worship yourself. Devote yourself to yourself. To know yourself. Know how things feel. Be in pain. Suffer. Be aware. Be awake. How do you get awake? How do you become aware? Well, what do I need to do? Well, stop shoving stuff down your mouth. I promise you. Stop shoving stuff down your mouth for a day. You're going to feel sensations. And you're going to say, well, I'm hungry. No. Observe your sensation. What is it? Is it your body shifting? Is things moving in different ways? As much as there's such a thing as growing pains, inflammation pains, is there such a thing as the opposite of that? There's still pain, but it's still moving, physically moving. Cells, tissues, organs, whatever you want to call it. The fact is, if your body is as perfect as some of us believe it is, or whatever, if your body is your body, release yourself from slavery. Don't believe a word I say, don't believe a word anyone says or what's in a book. Experience, and sometimes you have to just remove all those distractions. Sometimes you have to move away from people in your life. They may think they love you, and you may think you love them. It's like I read Friedrich Nietzsche many years ago, and one of the things I enjoy very much about what was said, at least what I read, translated, was that one cannot love themselves. I'm doing a terrible job quoting it, but basically no one can love someone else. You can love the feeling you get by being in their presence or thinking about them or whatever association you want to think. But until we learn to go back into ourselves, love ourselves, we will never know what that experience is. It's like people practice yoga. They own that title. You own something. You own it, and it hurts you because it owns you. It enslaves you. The whole idea of yoga, from what I remember as a teacher myself, is to connect to everything, for everything to connect to you, to realize our connection to everything. And yet, how many times do we see a person who practices yoga, they're on Instagram or modeling thing or whatever, but it's all about me, 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 me. I'm on a yoga mat. I don't want to touch the dirt, the soil. How crazy is that? I want to go to a studio. How nuts is that? If the purpose is to be connected, how can you not root your feet onto the soil? How can you not embrace the sun on your body? Remove the clothes. How many people do I know, and yourself you can ask it, you come to your own home where you live, where you feel comfortable and safe, and you're afraid to take off your clothes. This stuff I'm wearing because of the video. I'm trying to be respectful. But as soon as I'm done with this, I'm taking it off. Be free. And when you're free, start two things you're going to notice. Like many animals you might see it as well. If an animal's trapped, sometimes the fellow animals will try to release it from the trap. But also if an animal is enslaved in some way, they'll try to trap them in because they want company. Misery loves company. So be aware of the people around you, your surrounding, your associations, what's contributing to preventing you from going to the next level. Your level is your level. Don't try to be a fruitarian, breatharian, vegan, religious, spiritual person. No. Be the better you. That's it. Be the better you. When you're the better you, you realize you can live without religion. You can live without calling yourself a vegan or anarchist or atheist. Be you, and then you start realizing that you have every right to be free and in love with everything. Thank you.